Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, January 3rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol NITO. Big mover today, and now it's pulled back a little bit, but within the grand scheme of things has formed a nice pattern, so it'll be interesting to see if the price can continue to build upon this momentum headed into Friday. So let's map out some key levels here. So from the pattern perspective, main area of resistance is that trend line right there, and then at the same time we have another area, except in this situation this is an area of support right there. Let me change that to green to represent support. And then to make the pattern easier to see, let me just keep it and turn it all into one color here. So we have our area of resistance, we have our area of support, we have this big explosive move right here. And then for you golfers out here, I'll try to make it a little bit more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern does not guarantee that for sure the price is going to go upwards, but is it valid? Is it logical to think that if the price comes up here and pushes up through there, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like this price range of right around $1, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, CTCX, and this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought up there and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes, well then yeah, from that standpoint, chart is not looking good for you at all. But if you do care about the overall standpoint, then even with the pullback, what it's done is essentially just created another bull pennant pattern. Now, this is not going to look the exact same as the one I just talked about, but let's at least map this out. So this level here, just wanting to try to illustrate the idea that yes, there is a pullback that's occurring. Hopefully you can all kind of just see that visually, that the price has been putting in those lower highs, hence the pullback. And then at the same time though, the movement down has started to get not as steep. So we have this little area right there, green for support. So we have essentially what you could call a falling wedge pattern, which as not very intuitive. Falling wedge is actually a bullish pattern, whereas a rising wedge is bearish. But point being, you have a falling wedge pattern, but this falling wedge is occurring within an overall bullish context, and the context being bullish because of that big gap up. So once again, we have our resistance, we have our support. So you could call that the falling wedge, but if you want to throw in the context of the big gap up right here and then throw your golf hole down here, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So a couple different ways you could approach this one, but at the end of the day, big move up. Yes, it's pulled back, but it showed the ability to move and move very quickly today. So if there is some more signs of life in it, and if all of a sudden this does make a move back to the upside, worth certainly keep an eye on, especially if you like penny stocks. Next one here, ticker symbol RGTI, and what a nice mover on this one. And as I speak right now, you can see this thing is literally pushing to new highs. That green candle is getting bigger and bigger, and that's why I like to do these when the markets are still open, because sometimes you can capture this sort of movement. But more of the story, if you watched a video from a couple days ago, talked about that red line there as resistance, and you can see the price came up here, got the break, came back down, quick little back test, and then boom, up it went. So yes, that's just my long way of saying this line here has served its purpose, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. In fact, we'll get rid of that line down there too, because it's no longer really relevant. But what's interesting right now is that the price has broken up through this area of resistance. At least I think it has. Yes. Well, it had, and then all of a sudden it pulled back. But you can see the price is currently doing battle with this former high from back here. The value of that high right there, let's just call it $19.35. So you can see the price is now back up above it. But that just brings us to a very entertaining question, an exciting question. Does the breakout occur? And if so, is this the start of an even bigger move? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that if nothing worthwhile is even happening in the first place. But in this situation, something worthwhile is happening, right? There's a battle going on. It's broken up through it as I speak right now. So that's where this question comes into play. Is this the start of something even bigger? And a lot of stocks, nothing worthwhile ever happened, so you don't even get to ask yourself that question. But here we have good movement, good momentum, and now it's just a question of, is this breakout going to keep on moving on Friday? We'll see what happens. Next one, LAES, and I like this one as it's got a trend line here that I think quite a few people probably drew. That area right there, let me change that to red. And I make the comment about a lot of people probably drawing it because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movement. So as I've said, and I'll probably say a dozen more times, there are no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it reasonable to think that if the price comes up here and breaks through that level, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. For no other reason other than people are saying, I'm a breakout trader. Oh, look, that's breaking out. Oh, I'm supposed to buy because I'm a breakout trader and that's breaking out. Therefore, they buy. Total self-fulfilling prophecies are a very real thing. So definitely keep an eye on that trend line right there. As like I said, I think a lot of people will probably keep an eye on that. In terms of levels of support, if there is any sort of pullback, key level to watch from the support standpoint. Let me change that to green. But that would be right down here around the $7.65 mark. But in my opinion, at least, definitely the most interesting dynamic about this one headed into Friday is that resistance line and whether or not the price can push up through it. Next one, FFIE. Very nice mover today. Talked about this area of resistance last time within the past top 10 video. I keep forgetting that the markets were closed on Wednesday. So when I say the last time, this was actually a couple days ago. And on that note, Happy New Year to everybody. Our first trading day here of 2025. But anyways, so a couple days ago when I mapped out that area of resistance, you can see that the price has now gotten above it and maintained above it, and now as I speak is separating that much further up above it. So this is just basic technical analysis. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, $3.20, newest area of support. And then in terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this at all. Just a question of, well, where did the party stop last time? And the party stopped last time right up there around $4.40, which was simply these highs. Whoops, grabbed the wrong annotation tool. There we go. I am traveling, so I'm not always used to these annotation tools. But anyways, right up here at that level of $4, and like I said, we'll call it 40 cents. So got the break out of that resistance, has turned it back into support. Not just a question of can this momentum continue, bring it up to that level, and will the bulls be able to fight through it? We'll see what happens on Friday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free on-demand class. So if you're interested in learning more about how I approach the markets, build consistency, manage risk, and the tools I'm using and why that tool is so important and powerful, then get signed up for the class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching on my website, there's an area right there on the webpage. So click on that, submit your email, and then you'll be able to watch this class whenever that best fits into your schedule. Next one here, ticker symbol CGBS, and one again. These, if you're a day trader and bought right there, yeah, and looking to buy and sell within 3 seconds, things are not looking good for you at all with the big pullback here. But if you do care about the bigger picture standpoint, looking at things in terms of where these lows are at, so assuming that this is some sort of bottom that's formed here around the 60-cent mark, and then you compare that with the previous low down here, and then you look at these lows even lower. If you envision these as stair steps, keyword being, right there you have higher lows, but keyword there being big picture. From the big picture standpoint, what are these stair steps doing? They are still progressing in the upwards direction, and that's what it's all about. So keep an eye on this dynamic here, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, because, again, I'm well aware that if you're a day trader and you bought right there, you definitely don't care about these stair steps, so that's just kind of one point of distinction there. Now, if the price is going to try to turn itself around, pretty crazy day when you just think about how steep that resistance trend line is right there. You can see the price is essentially starting to do battle with it right there. But can the price push through there? If it does, is that going to create another surge of momentum back to the upside? We'll see what happens with it. But for you penny stock traders out there, here you go. Next one, SPCB. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one because you've already heard me talk about this. But we have ourselves a nice bull pennant pattern. So there is the resistance portion of the pattern illustrating the pullback that has played out. And then at the same time, we have this lower part right there. Change that to green, so that support trend line. And then just to make it all one color, hopefully easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosive move right there, we have the golf hole down here, and once more we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks down below $10, you like bull pennants, here you go. Next one here, NVDA, and this is going to be one of these potential self-fulfilling prophecy dynamics, because let me be very, very clear, as I draw this trend line into place right here, by no means am I trying to impress you, imply this is some sort of great discovery or I have a special skill. No, a lot of people have drawn in a trend line very, very similar to that, if not the exact same trend line. So going back to that whole idea, when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, it can indeed create big movements, even if it's self-fulfilling prophecy. So if the price can come up here on NVIDIA, get the breakup through that line right there, not guaranteed, but realistic to think that that break right there could bring in a bunch of momentum and create some good upside buying pressure. So in my mind, that's the main dynamic right there. That's kind of the popcorn line. So grab your popcorn, grab your Sour Patch Kids. Let's see if the price can break through there, and if so, does that create another round of upside buying pressure? Next one here at TSLA Tesla, and another rough day as the pullback continues. Now, what's making this a little interesting is it does become a little bit more valid to think that maybe, just maybe, some selling pressure has alleviated and that the buyers are stepping back in for no simple reason other than the price is going sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there is this big move down, and now just because the price is going sideways, does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom and for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. I'm just saying it becomes a lot more plausible. Case in point, let's just say Tesla was looking like something like this. And then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally just going down. But that's not the case here. It has at least started to go sideways. So it at least makes it valid to throw out the question, is this some sort of bottom? Is the selling pressure finally over? And that's also why 373.50 becomes important, because if the price breaks down through there, well, this whole idea of is this some sort of bottom goes away, because, well, clearly not, because the price would then be putting in lower lows at that point. So we'll see what happens with it, but nice sideways movement. Let's see if 373.50 can indeed hold as support and see if this is some sort of bottom here that's trying to form for Tesla. Next one, QSI, and all I can really say is boom for this afternoon. Looking down here, you can see very, very nice increase in volume, and then, of course, the price reacted very nicely with that. So you have a breakout, and right now there's not a whole lot to talk about in the sense of looking at patterns and stuff like that, because the breakout's already occurred. But the dynamic is the ingredients are here. You have the big volume. You have the big price movement. So now it becomes at least valid to keep an eye on it, because maybe something like this happens, and I have no idea if it does, but if the price does pull back somewhat on Friday, well, then all of a sudden you'd have a situation where you'd have a bit of a pullback. You'd have this nice move up here. So maybe you get some sort of bull pennant that forms on Friday. Not necessarily. Maybe this thing keeps on rocking and rolling. So for those of you that like to play momentum, right there, you'd want to keep an eye on it, because who knows, maybe this thing is just going to get another 3 or 4 green candles before it finally pulls back. You don't know, but the point here is whether you're a pullback player or a breakout player, or you like momentum, or you like for patterns to form, all those traders have one thing in common. They all need volume and they all need volatility, and that's what this is now proving this afternoon with, again, the surge in volume here and then the very, very impressive price movement. So if you like this price range and you want to kind of wait and see what it decides to do on Friday, then I definitely keep an eye on QSI. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used, then click the links down below, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on my website. Submit your email, and then you can watch this class right away on demand, so you can fit it right into your schedule whenever is most convenient for you. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these and you want to support the channel in a super easy and free way, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here, I am now using the 4-hour time frame. So you can see that up there, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and I want this video and analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible. So by using this longer time frame, we can make that happen. But all I can really say is Bitcoin has been doing very, very well since the last update I did, as this thing hasn't gone straight up, but it's been going very close to essentially straight up. So question number one, and that'll keep this obvious. So let's keep this, or not obvious, excuse me, but relevant. But let's just say you're watching this video 20 hours after I upload it. Question number one for you becomes, where's the price at relative to that pink line there, the 200 period simple moving average? If in any way, shape, or form you're saying, well, Clay, the price is actually up above that pink line, that is a good thing. Now, how good of a thing? That's where common sense comes into play. If it's slightly above it, again, that's good. But if the price is way up there, back above 100,000, well, that's telling you that it's that much better of a thing. But any sort of answering the question that the price is above that pink line is telling you that this movement has continued and the momentum has maintained itself. Now, if you say, well, actually, Clay, the price is still down below it, next question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to that purple line there, valued at 94,900? If somehow you're saying the price is down below there, next question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to 92,000? Now, I highly doubt you're answering it this way, but if somehow you're answering the question, the price is down below 92,000, that's a train wreck. Something really bad has happened. Again, I doubt you're going to be answering it in that way, but keep your eye on these levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this analysis relevant until I'm back to update it again. And as invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So I said, click on the links down below, or just click on the area right on the website page there. Submit your email, and then you can gain instant access to this class and watch it on demand whenever fits best into your schedule. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, and if you appreciate me doing Bitcoin and you want to support the channel in an easy way, please subscribe, hit that like button. It really does help out. So thanks for watching, and make sure you go check out that free class.